Let's talk Villa, and it is a player sale. It's been a little while since we sold Moussa Diaby, and now, as you've seen by the title and thumbnail, it is possibly Diego Carlos's time to leave Aston Villa and join Fulham of the Premier League. If you are enjoying all of the latest and greatest Aston Villa transfer content, another video coming very soon on a possible replacement for not only Carlos but also Matty Cash, leave a like, subscribe and comment down below. What do you think about the sale of Diego Carlos? In this video today, we're going to be breaking down him as a player, looking at his stats, why I think this sale might not matter as much for Villa, but we do need to replace him. I do believe that. I'm quite a firm believer in that. But why possibly he just didn't fit Emery's system anymore, and it's quite a smart move to move him on right now. But first of all, we need to look at his stats and understand how important he was for Villa last season. And for that, obviously, we go over to the trusted foot mob, and as you can see on the screen, Diego Carlos 104 centimeters tall. God, no wonder we're selling him as a centre back. 184 centimeters tall. He is 31 years of age, and primarily plays centre back. Hasn't really played right back for us. Last season, 27 games, 20 starts, managed about 1,800 minutes. Got an average rating of 6.45, and it's never really worked out for Diego Carlos at Aston Villa, I have to say. You know, came in injured in this first season, probably in his first or second game. I can't remember which one it was. It was against Bournemouth, I think. Out for pretty much a whole season. And then the Ezri Konsa effect came out of nowhere. Ezri Konsa just developed into one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. Pau Torres gets brought in, and all of a sudden, the sale of Diego Carlos doesn't seem as crucial as it did when we first signed him from Sevilla. If we move down here to his stats for this season, his XG is actually pretty good, 2.33, puts him in the near top 10th percentile for centre-backs in the league, but actually didn't get any goals, didn't get any assists. He completed about 1,100 passes on an accuracy of 88%, which is something that we're going to touch on a little bit later. Only 70th percentile for centre-backs in the position, and we all know how Emery likes to play football, build up from the back, and he doesn't particularly enjoy a centre-back who just lumps it forward, which unfortunately sort of is Diego Carlos's game. I remember whenever he'd get the ball and he'd just ping the ball. Honestly, it's probably because he's built like a brick poop house, but he just absolutely flings the ball into players' feet. He passes it so hard, and it actually meant that we lost possession quite a lot last season. Chances created 3, 41% long ball accuracy, again not the best. In possession, only 50% of his dribbles are successful, and he'd done 2 the entire season. Won 4 fouls. And even in terms of defending, 16 tackles, 59% accuracy, success ratio on those tackles. His duels won only 45%, puts him in the bottom 3.5% for players in his position in the league. Aerial duels won only 44%. I don't understand what happened to his aerial ability. It seems to be null and void. Puts him in the bottom 5% for that one as well. 26 fouls committed. None of his stats particularly stand out to me, and I'm sure they're not standing out to you. But one thing I do want to, touch on is if we move over here to the Squawker comparison matrix, I've got him listed up here against Ezri Konsa and Pau Torres, and the only stats that I have got in terms of these players, and don't forget, Pau Torres missed quite a lot of the season through injury, was in and out of the team, just like Diego Carlos was as well, and Ezri Konsa did play right back, but these are our main 3 centre-back options. I could have added Clement Longley into here as well, just to kind of show you what Emery likes of a defender. Now, in terms of passes completed, you can see, obviously, Torres and Konsa definitely stand out. Chances created, they have 5 more than him. And then you look at the passes attempted and completed and passing accuracy, again, Konsa absolutely stands out. Pau Torres, in terms of actual attempts and how many passes he has made, is a lot higher than Diego Carlos. Obviously, they can't be directly compared because Pau Torres plays on the left-hand side of defence and Carlos on the right. So Konsa really is your main comparison here. And then you look at the long passes. Pau Torres starts to come in on his own. Crossing accuracy, Pau Torres there. Look at the stats for Diego Carlos are literally null and void. They are not there. Passes in the opposition half as well, so progressing the ball forward, that's what Pau Torres is almost in the team to do. Again, it dwarfs Diego Carlos's stats, and that is why I think this sale probably is going through. I don't think he is particularly an Emery style of player. If we go over to their per 90 stats, you can see Diego Carlos actually doing the most amount of passes per 90. But again, no crossing, and they are mainly in his own half. So what is the deal itself? As you can see here, Fabrizio Morano has tweeted that it is coming incredibly close. There have been suggestions, I'll pop it up on screen here, that it's going to be some sort of swap deal involving Andreas Pereira, ex-Manchester United player, of course, had a good season for Fulham last year, plays in the central midfield role. Now look, I think our defence has been really, really weak over pre-season. I think we are lacking depth in a defensive sort of manner in terms of our left-hand side now is really, really strong. We have 3 first-team left-backs. It's really quite amazing. We've got Tyrone Mings coming back from injury, who will be natural cover for Pau Torres when he is back. I am a little bit worried that he might not be back as soon as maybe we once hoped. And then at the centre-back position on the right-hand side, so right centre-back, we've got Carlos. A bad pre-season for me, personally. Didn't really set the world alight and then got sent off and looked like he couldn't care less whilst we were on our tour of the USA. We've got Ezri Konsa, obviously one of the premier defenders in the Premier League. Very, very excited to see him, and I want to see him playing in that centre-back role. Then we've got Lamar Bagard, really stepped up in this pre-season. I've been really, really impressed with him. I think he has made his claim to be part of the first team going forward. 20 years of age, looks already more composed on the ball than Diego Carlos. Again, came from playing centre mid, so obviously he's going to have that range of passing, that natural ability with the ball at his feet and vision that perhaps Carlos doesn't have. And then at right back, you've got Matty Cash and Costa Nedeljkovic. Now, obviously Kane Kesler-Hayden went out on loan. There's going to be a lot of loan talk when I review our transfer window, which is a video coming up soon, so subscribe for that. But ultimately, if Diego Carlos goes, it leaves us with Ezri Konsa and then a 20-year-old as his backup at right centre-back. And Ezri Konsa might even be playing right-back this season. We don't know Emery's plans for the season in regards to Konsa. Obviously likes to utilise him as a right-back as he did last season. So for me, that is a worrying thing. We don't really have much depth on the right-hand side of our defence at all. We've loaned players out, which to me suggests that we are going to be bringing players in, or we at least feel like we've got enough depth there, but I think from the outside in, it definitely looks like we don't. So if Carlos goes, he needs to be replaced. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I don't know who we get in. I would have loved Jan Tobido from Nice. He is obviously now destined for West Ham, who are building a little bit of a top 4 contention super team down in London. But I don't really know who we get in. The Andreas Pereira swap deal doesn't particularly appeal to me. I don't think we need more centre mids. I think we're actually pretty stacked in that department now, and I don't think he offers anything that the current crop of players that we have in those positions doesn't offer us, if that makes sense. So it is going to be really, really interesting to see where this one does go and where it does develop. The fee of this deal hasn't been reported anywhere. I would like to think we're going to be pushing for at least 15 to 20 million for Carlos. I understand that he's 31 years of age and he's come off of a mediocre season. He did manage to pick up 2 Man of the Match awards against Arsenal both times, I believe. But I really, really think we need to be cautionary with not letting this deal go through unless there is a backup, a replacement there, because we can't rely on Konsa to play 38 games in the Premier League season again, and we can't be falling back on a 20-year-old who's just had his first good pre-season for a senior men's team. I understand he's been on loan to Bristol in the past, but that's a lower league. We can't be relying on him if we're pushing for Europe again. So I'd like to hear your opinions down below. Who do you think we could get in to replace Diego Carlos? Because in my mind, I just don't know. And I'm not too keen on the Pereira deal either. But ultimately, if we are going to sell a defender, if we, again, it's more money in, isn't it? PSR is always on the back of everyone's mind after we had to sell Douglas Luiz. I think Diego Carlos is a relatively good option for that. But I worry about how we're going to replace him. And I also worry if we can replace him and get someone up to speed before the Premier League season starts. But as always, guys, comment down below. I enjoy reading all your comments. And I haven't been replying to as many as possible at the moment. I've been extremely busy, but hopefully I'll be back to replying to everything very, very soon. So as always, up the vid up, be nice to everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next one.